Hi, welcome. This is the answers to the quiz from last night, Wednesday the 29th. The third quiz we've done as Co-op Online, and I'm joined today by my daughter Lily, who's obviously been behind the scenes a lot, as you may or may not know. I'm just helping me out with some of the questions and some of the comments and highlighting a few things as well. So yeah, I can't do it without her. She's been great, and you have to get used to the sight of her being on some of my videos. She doesn't quite necessarily know how much she's going to be involved yet, but she's studying photography and fine art at college. So I'm hoping to do a bit more of a family TV type thing as well with Co-op Online. So getting my dad involved, my granddad involved, and my daughter and family as well. So be talking a bit about what they're teaching in college now, how she's learning photography. So looking forward to getting to grips with some of that as well. So let's go straight into the questions now. Lily's going to review the question and I'm going to give you the answers. All right, here we go.
Okay, so first question. Which flag carrier drew a crescent and stars in the sky above its home country?
That was Turkish Airlines and it was a Boeing 777, as we alluded to last night. Question 2.
Austrian Airlines has announced that it will withdraw which type from its fleet?
So that was 3 answers on this one, so there's 3 points. The first one was the original Dash 8s that it operated. The second one was the Airbus A319s, which is a new decision. And the third answer was 3 of its 6 Boeing 767s. Next question.
How many BA employees did the airline say were at risk of losing their jobs?
Yeah, sad times. There's 12,000 on that one. 12,000 people at risk of losing their jobs. Obviously, this is industry-wide. It's not just British Airways, but yeah, sad stuff. Number 4.
What was the green project that Rolls-Royce and Airbus were developing?
So that was the eFan X, which is based on an RJ100. It was going to be looking at the possibility of electric-powered aviation, electric-powered aircraft in the future. I believe it's still only shelved. It's not going to be completely killed off. They're looking at doing some ground-based testing as well, so all is not lost in the project. So next question, number 5.
Which new aircraft was being delivered to the Belgium Armed Services?
It was the Airbus A400, due in a couple of weeks.
Question 6. What 5 air forces operate operate the Saab Gripen?
Well done. That was Sweden, South Africa, Czech, Hungary and Thailand. Number 7.
That UFO incident, which service and what type undertook the interception?
So that was the US Navy and it was Super Hornets.
The North Korean AF correct terminology is?
Okay, that's Korean People's Army Air and Anti-Aircraft Force. Number 9.
What year was the BBMF formed?
And BBMF is?
I don't know.
She's going to learn. Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, of course, was formed in 1957. Question 10.
Typhoons
Deploying
to Lithuania, what is number 6 squadron known as, and how many times has the RAF developed for Baltic duties?
Tough one, that one. Okay, number 6 squadron is the Flying Can Openers, derived from the squadron badge, and it's deployed to the region 5 times before this being the 6th up to Lithuania. Okay, now that was the end of round 1. As you recognise, last night, if you might have watched live, I was lost very much in which round was which, but that's why Lily's there to keep me on track and see what I'm doing. So, question number 1 of round 2.
Name the French-born pioneer sorry, that question is really badly worded.
Oh, no.
Name the French-born pioneer who is widely believed to have been the first woman to make a solo flight in an aircraft, and in which year did this take place?
Sounds right to me, so it's just your reading, basically. So, okay, so it's a French lady. It took place in September 1908 in Italy, and her name was Therese Peltier. She also did French as well, so...
Right.
Is that right? You know him?
I don't know.
Close enough. Question 2.
Amelia Earhart was the first woman to cross the Atlantic. What year was that? Which year did she disappear? And what was her nickname?
Okay, it was a 1928 crossing. She disappeared in 1937, and her nickname was Lady Lindy. I didn't know that one myself. So, question 3.
What year did transatlantic passenger flights start from Europe and from which port?
So it took a little bit longer to get going on actual passenger flights, as I was explaining last night, and they eventually finally took place in 1937, leaving from Foynes in Ireland. Number 4.
Name as many German manufacturers producing aircraft in World War II. There are 8.
Well, I think there might have been a couple more than 8, but there was certainly 8 major ones. So, Junkers, Messerschmitt, Focke-Wulf, Dornier, Heinkel, Arado, Gotha, and Bloin and Voss were the 8 I was looking for. They were the primary ones. And the next question, number 5.
The 3 Luftwaffe machines.
A was a Junkers Ju-87 Stuka. B was a Messerschmitt Bf110. I might, if you're lucky, accept Me110, although that's not strictly correct. The number 3, or C, was Horten HO229, also known as the HO9. So, but Horten HO229 is the correct designation I was looking for. Number 6.
Date of the Korean War armistice signed.
That was July 1953, and interestingly, there was not actually ever a peace treaty signed. So, although the armistice was signed to stop the conflict, it's still technically at war. There was no actual peace treaty signed. Number 7.
The 4 primary manufacturer designations of the Lockheed constellation.
Well done. Okay, that's the L049, the L749, the L1049, and the L1649. So the latter is the Starliner. Previous one to that was the Super Connie, and the one before that was the Constellation. Number 8.
The legendary Robin Olds.
Yes, indeed. So how many MiG kills were attributed to him in Vietnam? That was 4. And the legend has it, or I don't know if it was legend, it was probably fact. No, Robin Olds, he had the opportunity to shoot down another 5 at the very least, but headquarters back at Washington had actually said to him, look, if you get some more kills, we're going to bring you back because we need you back home to have a staffing job. So he deliberately kept his kill tally low, but legend has it, in order to stay out on the front line. So the next question then was, how many combat missions did he fly over North Vietnam? So combat missions over that particular area of North Vietnam was 105, of which there were 152 in total in that campaign, adding to 107 already undertaken in World War II. His famous F4 is preserved in Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio, which is the National Museum of the Air Force. Stunning place, absolutely perfect fitting for that legendary jet. How many kills had he already achieved in World War II? That was at 12, so he was already a triple ace by the time he made it to Vietnam. So, okay, question 9.
How many F4s have been produced?
What do you reckon?
I mean, I've got the answer.
So you lots of 5,000, around the 5,000 mark were coming through last night, and you were pretty close. It's 5195, and they started in 1958 and finished in 1981. Question 10.
Most produced military aircraft of all time.
It was the Aleutian IL-2 Stormovik. The total was 36,183. Quite incredible. And Stalin actually described it as essential to the Red Army as bread itself. So that was an incredible feat of engineering back then. So then we moved on to round 3 or round 2, whichever planet I was on after that beer last night. So round 3, question 1.
What were the first 2 Royal Flying Corps squadrons, and all that detail about them?
Alright, so there's lots of details to come out of this. So obviously the Royal Flying Corps was formed in April 1912. The first squadrons assigned were actually number 2 and 3 squadrons. Number 2 squadron was formed at Farnborough, and number 3 squadron was formed at Lark Hill. Obviously, it's a bit strange being 2 and 3 the first, but number 1 squadron was principally an army squadron beforehand. Staffed by Royal Engineers and flying balloons and kites at the time, and then became part of the Royal Flying Corps much later after 1914 when it became the Royal Air Force. Alright, number 2.
First operational missions of the RAF was undertaken by...
Okay, that was number 22 Squadron, Bristol F-2 fighters, and that was undertaken on the 1st of April 1918. Number 3.
When was the RAF Bomber Command formed, and how many squadrons by the start of World War II?
Alright, that was formed in 1936, and the number of squadrons by 1939 were 23. And question 4, Dam Busters.
The Dam Buster questions on number 617 squadron.
Number 617 squadron. She's still learning. 617, yeah. That was formed at Scampton in 1943. The dams are, my German's awful, it's even worse than my French. So it's the Möhne Dam and the Edessy dams, which are protecting the Ruhr Valley. The Tornado GR1 arrived with the Dam Busters in 1982, and the F-35s touched down at RF Marham on the 7th of June 2018, having been operated by the squadron since 2016. They arrived in the country on that date. Question 5.
The RAF's first squadron to ever be equipped with jets was?
It's number 616 Squadron and was with the Meteor F1. RAF Colnhead was the station, and the date was 12th of July 1944, the aircraft arriving to replace the Spitfires of that squadron. Number 6.
The odd one out on the Tornado squadrons was?
Number 57 Squadron, that one. Victors. Number 7.
Matching the squadron motto to the squadron number plate was?
Okay, bit of a tricky answer to get right. So there's A to C, which was the Seek and Destroy, to number 41. B to A, which was swifter and keener than Eagles, to number 11 Squadron. And C to B, which was See into the Future, goes with number 4 Squadron. Number 8.
What were the RAF's current Typhoon units?
Okay, lots on this one. So you don't have to get them all, just as many as you can. And I'll read out the numbers and see how many you got right. So it's 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 11, 12, 29 and 41, plus the display team if you want to be super picky as well, although it's obviously embedded into 29. Question 9.
The common thread on NOS, NOS,
Numbers.
13, 31 and 39 squadron is?
Right, so they're all unmanned. There's the RAFs in the in the future face of the Air Force. Obviously got a lot of unmanned vehicles coming online all over the world, and the RAF squadrons are 13, 31 and 39. Obviously UAVs, as we know, in the RAF terminology is RPAS, Remote Piloted Air System. Question 10, final one.
Guess the squadron crests. What were they?
Okay, so A was 5 Squadron with Sentinels at RAF Wellington. B was 10 Squadron with Voyagers at Brize Norton. C was 18 Squadron with Chinooks out of Odium. D was 100 Squadron with Hawks out of Leeming. And E was Shadow R1s out of RAF Wellington. And that is it. So we'll see how Lily develops on her aviation knowledge over time. And obviously, as I say, I'll hope to be interviewing her as well to see a little bit about what goes on with photography teaching nowadays, and also how this generation utilises social media and everything else as well. So look out for yet another part of Co-op Online coming soon, we promise. Cheers for now. Goodbye.
Thank you.